Internet news with no filter. Welcome to News Sesh. Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're diving into a really important topic. Today, we're diving into a very controversial TikTok family known as the Dad and Daughter Dream Team, or Dream Team Fam. On the surface, it looks like wholesome father-daughter content, dances, trends, quotes, and positivity. But underneath, many people online are raising serious red flags. From a so-called purity ring proposal to questions about boundaries, this is one of the most talked about and troubled creator duos on the app. In this video, we'll explore who they are, what people are saying, and why so many are concerned. To understand the controversy, first we need to know who this dream team is. The Dad and Daughter Dream Team refers to Patrick Getchell, the father, and his daughter Sarah Getchell. Their TikTok presence is centered around their relationship, dancing together, doing trending audios, and filming moments of their daily life. They've operated under different related account names, including Just a Dad and his Ladybug. TheRealitySnark.com. According to their Cameo profile, Patrick and Sarah and sometimes other family members create motivational or pep talk videos, emphasizing positivity and close father-daughter dynamics. While some of their content comes off as innocent and heartwarming, dancing, life advice, and family, their dynamic has drawn a growing amount of criticism. One of the most controversial moments led many people to take a closer look. Patrick allegedly proposed to Sarah with a purity ring. According to investigative commentary, Patrick gave Sarah a purity ring, a symbol commonly used in some religious communities to represent a promise of abstinence. The way he did it made many observers uncomfortable. Patrick got down on one knee and framed the moment like a marriage proposal. Sarah accepted the ring, but viewers found the scenario deeply unsettling.
Why?
Because purity pledges are one thing when discussed in private or with peers, but public father-daughter proposal? That breaches many people's sense of normal boundaries. Beyond that, critics note that Sarah was an adult, around 20 years old, when this happened. TheRealitySnark.com some argue this makes the gesture even more problematic, not just symbolic, but performative and controlling. The proposal video went viral and sparked a lot of discussion on Reddit and other social platforms. According to The Reality Snark, after the ring moment, people started digging deeper into their content and found a pattern of what they describe as blurry boundaries, frequent hugs, holding hands, kisses on cheeks or arms, and very father-daughter romanticized videos. On top of this, some Reddit users allege Patrick has family connections that are deeply concerning. For example, a possible relative, alleged brother, being a registered sex offender. These accusations are serious, and while not all claims have been legally confirmed, they fuel a massive online discussion about the ethics and safety of such content. The TikTok and Reddit communities have not held back in their responses. Many users describe feeling creeped out by the way Patrick and Sarah interact. Some say it's not just typical father-daughter affection. They claim there's a performative, overly romantic vibe. On the subreddit Dad and Daughter Snark, people call out the lack of boundaries, the staged proposal, and a recurring pattern of weird content. Others point out that even though Sarah has her own social media presence, her own TikTok, a large portion of content still focuses tightly on her dad, his face, his role, his interactions, often excluding other family members like her mother or younger brother. There's also concern about grooming. Some viewers worry that Patrick's behavior towards Sarah, emotionally and symbolically, is not just dad being supportive, but more controlling or unhealthy. A recurring argument in online commentary is that the content is being monetized. With millions of views, their videos serve both as personal expression and a business. Critics claim that what seems like familial love may also be a strategy for clicks and engagement. On the flip side, some fans or supporters defend them, saying that people are reading too much into it. According to the Getchell family's own statements, they simply want to share their love, faith, and positivity with a wider audience. But for many, the purity ring moment was the tipping point. It became less about father-slash-daughter bonding and more about a spectacle that raises serious ethical and emotional questions. The concern around the dream team goes deeper than discomfort. Many of the warnings raised are not just about aesthetics, but about potential risks and abuse. The practice of parents heavily sharing their children's lives on social media is called sharenting. While not inherently bad, it comes with a host of issues: privacy loss, long-term digital footprint, and the child's lack of control over how they're portrayed. Research shows that exposing children too much online can attract negative attention or even exploitation. For Sarah, though she is an adult now, her entire adolescence and young adulthood have been broadcasted to millions, raising the question, how much of her identity is her own versus crafted for online approval? The purity ring proposal is not just a shocking symbolic act. Critics worry it reflects emotionally enmeshed dynamics. In healthy parent-child relationships, romantic gestures or proposals simply don't belong. Some users argue that the content blurs power dynamics. Patrick isn't just dad. In some videos, he seems to take on a performer's role, central to Sarah's brand, influence, and even her identity. There are also questions about how much autonomy Sarah really has in this relationship. Is she making her own choices, or is much of her life being framed and shared through the lens of her father's influence and the expectations of their audience? As mentioned, there are unverified but serious allegations regarding Patrick's past or his family's past, including possible connections to the sex offender registry. These allegations magnify the worries. Is this just performative content, or a disturbing normalization of overly intimate parent-child behavior for online fame? Beyond the potential for abuse, there is a reputational risk for Sarah. If things go wrong, her public persona is on the line. And critics argue that growing up so publicly may leave her emotionally vulnerable. Let's consider what the dad and daughter dream team actually say in their defense, and what their supporters argue. In response to the backlash, some in their fanbase claim that people are misinterpreting what they do. They say it's all about family love, faith, and positivity, not something sinister. According to reports, Sarah has publicly defended her father. She says they are very close and have always been a team. The Getchels have also said that the purity ring was part of a Christian value system, a commitment, not a romance. On Cameo, their bio highlights them as a hype team who lift fans up with endless positivity and silliness. Some supporters further argue that online criticism often comes from people projecting their own discomfort onto them. They believe the scrutiny is overblown, or that viewers are taking things out of context. There's a portion of their audience who genuinely love the father-daughter content. They see wholesome interactions, emotional support, and a model of close-knit family, not something more sinister. Why should people pay attention to this? What does the Dream Team controversy tell us about TikTok, social media parenting, and ethical boundaries? The Dream Team case highlights how sharenting can go wrong. When parents present their children in a certain way to build an audience, there's a danger that the child's identity becomes partly performative. If a child or young adult's value is tied to their online persona, that creates complex psychological risks. They may feel pressure to maintain a certain image, perform for likes, and uphold their brand. This is a growing concern in the creator economy. Children and teens who grow up on social media may lack a private self outside the lens of the camera. The proposal with the purity ring is a dramatic example, but the deeper issue is power imbalance. A father giving symbolic romantic gestures to his daughter raises serious ethical questions, especially in a public, monetized context. Content creators need to think not just about views, but about the emotional well-being and agency of the people in their videos. Viewers are becoming more savvy and critical. TikTok audiences don't just consume. They investigate, call out, and demand accountability. Social media platforms like TikTok have a role to play. What guidelines should exist for parent-child content? How can the platform better protect minors or young adults who are essentially performing their family life? There's also the question of monetization. When a parent-child duo goes big, how should revenue and control be shared? Who owns the brand? And how do you prevent exploitation? TikTok safety tools like family pairing are important, but they may not be enough when the parent is also the content creator. If you're watching the Dream Team or similar content, here are some responsible steps to think about. Be critical and informed. Don't just laugh or scroll. Ask questions. Why are they posting this? Who benefits? Look for third-party commentary, snark pages, or investigative content that isn't tied to the creator's own narrative. Support ethical creators. Promote and support families or creators who center healthy boundaries, consent, and autonomy. If you like wholesome content, choose creators who don't cross lines, don't romanticize parent/child inappropriately, and treat children or young adults as full, independent people. Report and reflect. If something makes you uncomfortable or feels exploitative, report it. Social media platforms rely on user feedback to enforce community standards. Reflect on what kind of content you want to encourage. As viewers, our attention is power. Educate others. Share your concerns with friends, family, or younger TikTok users who might not think deeply about the implications. Use your platform, whether that's TikTok, YouTube, or real life, to spark thoughtful discussions about digital ethics, parental boundaries, and social media responsibility. The Dad and Daughter Dream Team on TikTok is more than just a viral duo. They're a case study. They force us to examine the boundaries of family content, the role of social media in parenting, and how digital fame can complicate what should be private relationships. Yes, some of their content seems innocent and playful, but the purity ring moment, combined with how tightly their brand revolves around their relationship, opens up difficult conversations. When does share your family cross into exploit your family for attention? And what does it mean for a daughter who has grown up being filmed and watched by millions? Ultimately, this isn't just about TikTok's scandal. It's about ethics, agency, and the future of personal content in the digital age. It's about how much control a creator, even a parent, should have over the narrative of someone else's life. If you found this analysis helpful, thoughtful, or even just curious, hit like, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. Because we need more conversations like this. Honest, deep, and not afraid to ask hard questions. And that's a wrap, guys. Like if you did, subscribe for more fun. See ya!